Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. I have two projects to do today, and then I'm going to take a break, and then I'm going to edit a video. So, yeah, let's get started. Hold up. Flip the page over. Okay. Come on, pen. Oh, that's 14. Let's try it again. What was the answer again? Yup. Damn it. I'll be ready for you next go around. Oh, I got that wrong again. Should have read it carefully, more carefully. Yay, I got that answer. Fair and square. Hmm. Oh, this is scary. Oh, god dang. Let me get it. Oh my god. Pen, what are you doing? Yo. Oh. I'm about to get me some chips. I haven't really ate. I'll make me some tea. So let me take a break real quick. Wow. No, I'm just gonna make me some ice water. That way I can cool down in this hot box until I get my freaking air conditioner, mini air conditioner. They're canceling out air conditioning here in the house, in all homes, not just my apartment building. So I'm gonna make me some cold water. That way I can cool down. In three, two. If y'all were in here, y'all would be doing the exact same thing, slouched over. But that doesn't mean I'm out for the count. That means that I'm just trying to write things down. Been like this since a teenager. If it's too hot, mm, mm, mm. Baby, hold on to me. See, I'm a special kind. Damn it, what am I getting wrong on this one? Where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you at? Right about there. Pi minus times 1 minus pi. Oh my God, you made it that small. Really? Let's read about you again, because that's not. I cannot wait for my glasses to come in. Oh man, I'm not used to wearing glasses. Losing my vision. Either way it go, which one is it? I want to see the correct answer. I was. Let me write that down right here. These formulas can really forget you up. I'm glad we don't need no calculator, no smart. Next is going to be smart calculators. Okay. You're like, enter your smart calculators. Get them out. Teacher, I don't have my calculator. Why didn't you pay $78 for it? Well, I couldn't afford it, teacher. Whoa. I am so mad with that answer because I wrote it down. I just wrote down the wrong ones. Hold on. A young lady in the elevator going to work out. She was like, "You smell so good." All I could do is laugh. I said thank you, and I remember her from last time. I actually gave her a compliment because her hair is so daggone pretty. I gotta keep myself upbeat. Proportion. Percents. Get out your calculators. All you gotta do is say the formula like you're supposed to. That's how it's gonna be. You just say the formula. You say 2a divided by 2, and I don't know the rest, but I'm not a mathematician like this crap. New formula, new day. Oh, I keep forgetting, yo. Okay, that is something. These are foreign to me. I have never seen this in my years of statistics. When I was in my bachelor's program, we didn't go that far. We just did basic uh, bell-shaped curve and histogram, and I still was struggling, but I kept in touch with the teacher, a white man, and he passed me because I kept going to his. Dang, that's hard to remember. His classroom, and he would tutor me, and I still didn't get it, but I got it. I got the basic concept. Then I had psychology statistics. Here we go. What is it? P2. This ain't the right one though. A whole new one. And you wasted my paper. I only got like 10 sheets left. I need more paper. Pronto. Dude, what's going on? This ain't no funeral home. This ain't the Terradome Neva. Everybody that has seen that movie know what I'm saying. Okay, I remember writing that down because I did not get that concept. Even when I read about it. Where is it at? Okay, there it is. That should be it. Okay, that's it. Cause some dang Burr, you getting tired of me talking? You got right up above me. Oh, they don't like dogs. That's the problem. When birds see dogs, they start hovering and watching, and then they go talking about it. I see a bird. I see a dog. I really watch and study birds very carefully. When they see people, one day I was at the VA. I got 10 more problems left. But one day I was at the VA, and there was this big Labrador, or I don't know, um, those dogs they use in police force. I just call it K9. Not a Rottweiler, but a Not a dopamine pincher. Come on, Kim, you can do this. German Shepherd. A German Shepherd was outside and size proportion level. And you don't want to know what they did. They started hackling away, and it was very abnormal. It was very abnormal the way they were doing it. It was I've never seen that done before at the VA. And it was so crazy. Okay. Z, where you at? Z Z A2P times 1 minus P. Let me blow you up a little bit. I think it's this one. They were like, oh, 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 oh. And when I came around, it was like two ahs, like, be on the lookout. And then when that dog came around, it was crazy. They went berserk. You may not believe me. I don't care. These birds are smart, man. Birds are very, very smart. And they don't like when you look them in the eyes. They don't like that. If you're trying to feed them, don't look at them. I don't know if it's a spiritual thing or what. What just happened? That's what I put. It's the other way around. Okay, whoop-de-doo. Then I usually go to Starbucks, and when I see a bird, just like Nikola Tesla, I will feed it like my scraps and stuff. They be eating real good, but they bottom feeders. I wouldn't eat what they eat, but what they eat, they be eating real good in certain sectors, especially if they're at a restaurant. They be having trash everywhere because they go inside the garbage cans. When I'm up extra early, that's when I like to be up watching them. Because when I'm up extra early, that's when they all be talking amongst each other. And they know my car, believe it or not. You can't say a bird don't know color, but they know my car. They're like, that's the lady with the food. And they eat so much all day, and then they just be flying and shit. And I be like, damn. Percent. That's why I keep quiet, because I start getting sidetracked. It's this one. Oh, there are no events. Okay, I can remember that. Round it up to the next whole number. Here we go again. Is that plus or minus? These formulas will get you. I give it to these mathematicians. I keep forgetting confidence level. It's right there. Let me write that. Did I write that down? No, I'm not playing. I want to learn. It's so funny though. They really don't want you to look at them. I don't know if we're the evil ones. I don't know. Maybe they can see something that our eyes can't see. I'm not evil, but like I've tested out a hypothesis I did where in my mind I said, why I wonder why they don't want me to look at them. So what I did is in my mind, first I was nice. I was like, here, I didn't say it out loud. I just threw out the food. I looked at them and I started saying mean things and it flew away. Then when I started saying nice things, it came back, but it still didn't want me to look at them. But the purpose of that is to see how much, you may not believe it or not, but these are very powerful beings. And Trump talks about it all the time. He says that he wants to save the birds. These windmills will take out birds. And birds are very powerful. And it goes back to Egyptian times and way before that. Ra. Ra was the first god to come on, half bird, half man, to come on the land of Egypt. And he birthed kids that disobeyed him and cast them out. And then it got dysfunctional. It got really dysfunctional because the brother put him in the coffin. I don't remember their names, but one of the brothers put him in the coffin, which they found the coffin thousands of years later of the guy that's now his spirit is now ruling the underworld. But he put him in the coffin. His wife resuscitated him. He chopped him up. He found what she was doing because she got help and chopped him up into 37 pieces or 48 pieces and scattered them throughout Egypt. She found all of them, got him, mummified him, had sex with him, birthed a child, and then he found out what she did, but he didn't know she was pregnant. But he took his body again, and he chopped it up once again and fed it to the alligators. That way she cannot resuscitate him again. And he told her he ruled the underworld now. So after that happened, the born child wanted to go up against him. I'll show y'all this after this show. I love it. But the funny part is when he finally went up against the other god, they went as rhinos. They went as so many things to try to fight. And as they were fighting, his mother, out of all the crap she did, she got into the fight to try to save the one who been doing the people wrong. And so her son, that beloved son, chopped her head off. And so they replaced it with a rhino head or something of that sort. Yeah, this go way back. They were very dysfunctional. Incest, betrayal. It was terrible there. I wouldn't have wanted to be there. I wouldn't want to be in Egypt because there was so much dysfunctional stuff going on. So much. And then they just dissipated. The three pyramids of Giza align with the stars that and they swear they still Gaia, the show, and ancient aliens, all that, but Gaia, which means earth, they're still trying to figure out what energy source is rumbling through the pyramids. Pyramids are very strong, y'all. Just as it's a diamond above, it's a diamond shape below with doors, which means that it's probably an underground camp that they moved to, and they decided to be underground. But those pyramids of Giza, I was gonna get it tattooed on me. I probably still do on my chest or something, or my neck, which wouldn't do be a good fit, but I don't care because this is meaningful. Aligned with the pyramids, the stars above, and most of them do line with the stars, and those stars above is their home. The stars above is their home, where they supposedly come from. So yeah. I know it's zero. Oh, it's 15? Okay. Oh my God, this crap again. It's too many formulas. It's no way a typical person not knowing these formulas, reading or not, can remember all of these without writing them down. I love to learn. Don't get me wrong. There's no buts. I love to learn about it. It's no buts. No nothing. What was it? ABA 6 or something. Okay. Oh, did I wait? Okay, here it is. Increase sample size, decrease confidence level. Okay, we are going to get this one right because I did everything. Okay, we got 990 CL. The next one should be 395 and then 28.99. This is hard. It took me way longer. I can read about that. Parameter. After I read or show y'all this, y'all gonna flip out. It's called Egypt History Estimator. I love learning. I don't know what it is, but my senses get the tingling. There are no, even when I don't know or think I don't know, I like to know. Just imagine what our kids, our smart kids of the future, is going to bring to the world. I may not be as smart as a typical smart calculus student, but I have a deep, deep deep feeling that something is about to pivot the world into straight tech. We are about to be the engineer of innovation, of infrastructure, of technology. We are going to be a city unrecognizable in the next 50 years. And I'll be 90 and I hate that. Maybe they'll come out with a time machine to sell. You know, when you look at your Apple computers, if you go to the search engine of the Apple, not the browser, and you type in time machine, it actually keeps a time record and it's called time machine on your Apple computer. And I said by the time I'm 73, I used to say by the time I'm 73, I want to invent the first time machine that's known. There are time machines, but I want to invent the time machine that's known. That's known. That should be enough time for it to be known. But I know somebody gonna creep up behind me and say, "Hey, look, it's a time machine." Ah! What? 12. Okay, I got you. Sorry about that, y'all. 12. Okay, so finally, I'm biased. That's very roundy. I still would have got it wrong. Round it up to the whole. Round it up. 12. Oh, they're giving me the same numbers in a different type of way. Okay, read about this. What was it? It was estimator. Estimator. It's time for the estimator. Ah, yeesh. Albert Einstein ought to be proud of himself, and Stephen Hawkins too. I know Stephen Hawkins didn't like Trump. I just feel like any man that can think, we were already in Web 6, because any man that can think what he has to say and they actually say it is a genius. Why? 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 This should be 1.796. It has to be 35. Okay. Rounded down. I think it's rounded up. Okay. Cool. Cool. That was hard. Now let me show y'all. It's okay. First, let me check my grade. This is hard as crap. Next week, I got 3 to do, but I completed my assignment and my discussion. All I got to do is reply to a discussion. Then, week 5, I got 2 to do in a discussion, which I'm going to open and talk about with the tutor. In week 6, did I draft save? Okay. So I didn't do the discussion for week 5 and 6. Okay. That's what we're going to talk about, week 5 and 6. And the week 6, let me write this down. One guy was right. I've been doing it, but he was right. He said if you write things down, it gets done a whole lot better. And I am behind on videos, I know. But I'm gonna get off of here, go get some items like a Red Bull or something, and then I'm gonna hop back on here with the Red Bull so I can be nice and cool and edit some videos. I don't care. It wasn't me being lazy. It was just like it was the wrong time. I'm swamped with this. Then I have 2 classes in September. I gotta really hunker down. And if everything works out right, people are going to know who I am. I'm actually, oh, I hope it works. I actually supposed to be doing a video shoot um, with a professional that's going to be on HBO. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Like Forrest Gump, that's all I'm going to say about that. So the discussion, talk about it, 4, 5, and 6. And then the assessment. I just want to be known. I don't want to win. I just want to be known this year. It's not about that I have the Kimberly Cloud show. It's no way I would have had to literally do a show. I could still do it, but and then go to school for my doctorates? No way. I may have to take off but finish strong where if I do win in the next 2 years, take off or do part-time. I have to think about all of these things. So that's why I don't want to sit up there and have too much on my plate, but I still want to be known. So when I start promoting it again next year, people be like, "Oh, she was in the primaries, or she sat up there and she was on television talking about what she's doing." And that's why I want to be known. It's not about beating anybody. I'm not a competitor. If it's that serious, I hope you make a change. That's all I care about. If you really want to win, do you want to win because you want that title, or do you want to win because you want to make a change? Period. Don't sit up there and get into politics just to have a name by your name, a political name by your name, and you can look pretty in the office. It's not about that. It's about making changes. Don't be persuaded by the evildoers that blackmail you to do certain things. No, I'm not like that. And people know it. So let's watch that video real quick. Oh, I never heard that. No, I'll listen to it next time. So this is Egyptian. Yeah, I put it in that like that. There we go. It's not mythology. I hate when they say that, man. If it was you see how they manipulate our minds? If it was mythology, then why is there pyramids? Why is there goddesses? just like Hercules, and it's just sick.
LegalZoom makes it simple to start an LLC in 3 easy steps. Your business dreams are as close as your fingertips. Just answer a
Y'all gonna flip out. It's not that long though.
In the beginning, there was nothing. The universe consisted of a great chaotic ocean, and Ben emerged amid this primal chaos. Ben was a huge pyramidal mound. There was a lotus flower with Ben, and this, when it blossomed, brought the god Ra to the world, and light came with him.
Do you know that if this was mythology, then why does California have a tool that goes in your nose just like the Ankh, A-N-K, the Ankh, that actually heals your brain? They were influenced by, I guess, quote unquote, mythology. And it's crazy. The Ankh puts up to your nose, it has special abilities, and it helps your brain frequency.
Ra by himself generated the first generations of gods. Shu, the god of the air, and Tefnut, the goddess of rain, were born. The universe was enwrapped by a
I'm about to get
vast
some
mass
chips.
of
Just
primordial
watch
waters.
the crap.
Shu and Tefnut plunged into the waters to explore its immensity. Ra felt afflicted after realizing that their children were taking a long time to return, and fearing never seeing them again. He sent his best messenger to find them. Shu and Tefnut returned safe and sound, and Ra's joy was so immense that human beings were born from his tears. After returning, their children generated in turn Geb, the god of the earth, and Nut, the goddess of the sky, and thus the sky and the earth were created. The great god Ra sovereignly ruled the universe power, and he was awarded the title of the first pharaoh. The god gifted Egypt with several sacred animals like the ox and the lion, but his greatest offering was the creation of the Nile River. Around its shores, men would edify a civilization glorifying the gods. But Ra had a premonition that his grandchildren would give birth to a new generation of gods who would put an end to his reign. And so the great god forbade the sky and the earth to have any offspring whatsoever. But Nut and Geb disobeyed and gave rise to a powerful offspring: Isis, Neph, Seth, and Osiris. They dethroned Ra, and Osiris started to reign over the world. But the new god's throne was not safe, because his brother Seth was eager to take all power for himself. And so the saga of Egyptian gods began. After deposing the god Ra, the deity who gave origin to the Egyptian world, Osiris became the new god of the universe. The new supreme god took the goddess Isis as his wife and started a reign of great prosperity. Osiris brought civilization to men.
Mind you, they just found Osiris's body, but now they're saying that it's a myth. They didn't find it. See, they trying to block out things. This was a high historian history type thing when it came out. But Osiris, yeah.
Who, until that point, lived quite primitively. The god taught them agriculture, weaving, and how to make bread. Besides that, he decreed the use of laws, which would give order to chaos. The Egyptian civilization began to flourish under the reign of the benevolent god Osiris. However, Osiris had a powerful and ambitious brother, Seth. His kingdom stood in the arid desert around Egypt, and so he was jealous of his brother, who had a fertile and prosperous kingdom. Osiris had an affair with Nephthys, Set's wife, and Anubis, the god of the dead, emerged from this union. Angered by his brother's betrayal, Set prepared his revenge. The god of the dry land.
Now, that's dysfunctional. He has a woman, right? And he's sitting up there sleeping with Seth's wife. And he knows Seth is jealous, and they found out. So now watch what he does. Osiris reigns over the underworld now, though. But they claim they found Osiris's body.
And personification of evil invited Osiris for a great feast in his honor. During the feast, Seth gifted the guests with a beautiful coffin and said he would offer it to the one who fit into it perfectly. Osiris decided to try it, and immediately after settling in, Seth closed the coffin, trapping the god. The evil god threw the coffin into the Nile, drowning the supreme god. Isis wept profoundly after losing her beloved husband, and these tears poured into the Nile River, giving rise to its traditional floods. The goddess and her sister Nephthys looked for Osiris's body, and Isis, after finding it, tried to hide it, but Seth spotted it nonetheless and
How the hell is she cruising in the sky? You see that red dot? You see how they had a red dot?
smashed it into 42 pieces, spreading them throughout Egypt. Isis, with Anubis's help, managed to recover the pieces, and, under the guidance of the god of the dead, she mummified
You
Osiris.
see the ankle in her hand? I'm just peeping everything. Eating.
Using her divine powers, the goddess was able to resurrect her love, but Osiris would now reign over the world of the dead. After coming back to life, Osiris had a son with Isis. His name was Horus, and he swore he would defeat Seth, the usurper of the throne that was his by right. Seth, the god of
Hey, did you know you might get a big cash payout if you were in a car accident in the last year? Yep. Even if you
I'm
were
sorry, I don't want no
destruction,
car
had
accident.
murdered Osiris, the god who reigned supreme in Egyptian mythology. Set took the throne from his brother for himself and unleashed his reign of terror. Nevertheless, Osiris had generated an heir together with the goddess Isis. His name was Horus. This was a falcon god, whose prophecy said that he would reign over the skies and would bring the light back to Egypt, ending the darkness brought by Set. Horus, already in a
That sound familiar? Bring the light back to Egypt because of the God bringing darkness. That sounds familiar to me.
adult, decided to claim his throne, which had been usurped by his uncle. The contention is judged by the gods, while the court, presided over by the sun god Ra, decided who would be worthy to sit on the throne. A series of clashes between Set and Horus had begun. Set had Ra's sympathy, since the usurper protected the sun god from the serpent Apophis, while the latter crossed the skies. Set proposed a challenge to Horus. Both would have to transform themselves into hippos and should be submerged for 3 months. Horus relied on his mother, the goddess Isis, to take advantage of Set's vulnerability to kill him. The goddess felt sympathy for Set and could not kill him. This betrayal enraged Horus, who then attacked his mother, cutting off her head. The god Thoth, the deity of knowledge, saved the goddess, replacing the severed head with a cow's head.
I'm sorry, it wasn't a hippo, it was a cow.
The clash between Set and Horus continued for many years. When fighting in the desert, Set managed to pluck Horus's eyes. Due to Hathor's help, the goddess of love, Horus had his vision restored. The court of gods demanded a reconciliation between Set and Horus. The evil god, pretending to be benevolent, invited Horus for a feast in his palace. During the night, Set tried to abuse his nephew, making him unworthy to the throne. However, Horus managed to defend himself and prevented the god's poisonous seed. Horus decided to take revenge, and, with the help of the goddess Isis, the god placed his divine seed in lettuce leaves, which were then offered to Set by the goddess Isis. The god of barren deserts ate the contaminated lettuce. Poison, Set started to deteriorate in front of everyone.
Listen to this. This is, you see the ankh in his hand? You see the power he holds? But just listen and look at the crystals and the things they represent carefully.
and a golden disc emerged in his forehead. Thoth grabbed the bright disc and ingrained it in her own head. Seth had been humiliated, and that was when, after 80 years, the court granted Horus the throne that was his by right. Isis couldn't be more proud to see her son, with Osiris assuming the father's throne. Set's fate was to travel with Ra, the sun god of the skies, and his enraged screams could be heard with thunder. And so, Horus's reign over Egypt began, and all the pharaohs who one day reigned over Egypt were among his descendants. Ra is the sun god in Egyptian mythology. This god is usually depicted as a being with a man's body and a head of a falcon. The sun disk is over his head. He had been one day the greatest of all gods, but time wore him down, and finding himself too old, he decided to relinquish the power and go to the skies. This god is one of the most revered figures in Egyptian mythology. As the sun god, one of his duties was to drive away the darkness. And to accomplish his work, the god crossed the skies on his sunboat, lighting the whole world. But when the twilight came, he and his vessel plunged into the sea waters towards the underworld. There he would have to sail through the dark world and cross the 12 gates.
That's true, y'all. I was just talking about it. I watched the whole thing, but he didn't plunge into the water. This is his sunboat. So obviously he got off, went into the pyramid, went downstairs, and or however they did it, there was a opening and there's like 12 gates. I mean, it's coming out that Hollywood have an underground sector. A lot of people that were sex slaves are coming out saying they were taken underground, and if they run while they're underground, they would get lost for eternity. So they stayed with those people that brought them underground. I don't want to name no names. This is not the show to do, but I'm telling you, there's an underground world,
which would be the 12 regions of the netherworld. Ra took an hour to go through each gate. Osiris was in one of them, the lord of the underworld, whom Ra always visited to pay his respects. But before leaving the underworld's darkness, the god was attacked by the terrible snake Apophis. This force of chaos tried to destroy the god's vessel, and each day the serpent seemed closer to accomplish her desire. Apophis once managed to swallow the sunboat, putting an end to the sunlight in the morning. But the serpent failed to hold the god in her stomach and regurgitated him. This event was marked as a solar eclipse. However, destroying Ra's boat became more difficult, since Set, the god of destruction, after losing the dispute of the supreme throne for Horus, had been condemned to navigate with Ra across the skies. He helped the sun god, defending his vessel against the terrible serpent, defeating it several times, making Ra's underworld journey safer. The god Ra was a figure worshipped throughout Egypt, but this god was especially adored in the city of Heliopolis. The god's prestige was so vast that other traditions of Egyptian religions of antiquity merged the god's depiction along with the greatest figure of their own pantheons. For instance, the figures of the supreme gods Amun and Atum were also known as Amun-Ra and Atum-Ra. The god's name was used by many pharaohs.
So many names, so little time. That's why I know the story, and I know Ra, who it all began. But after that, like I know Osiris, the underworld, Set, which was the evil one, and it's another one, a lot of them.
Ramses is a well-known example. His name means son of Ra, or the...
Now, didn't we talk about Ramses? How can this be mythology? They're just datalyzing, dressing them up as, these. It could be that they were like this because Samurais back in the Chinese historian era, they used to dress kind of like that. But I don't think that's exactly how they dress. You're mixing it up to make it look different.
Son of Sun.
How can they dress like that way 2,000 years ago? Tell me that. 2, 3, 4,000 years ago. That clothes look like it come from what is it? I'm cracking a joke and I can't even crack the joke right. Like, I don't know, a convention. I was gonna say a t-shirt shop that have the U shape. I forgot what they call it, but I know it doesn't come from that. But think about it. People in conventions, historic conventions like Sailor Moon and stuff, dress up like that. Even dress up like a samurai, but samurais are true because they have statues. China and Japan has statues of different samurais in those outfits. So that's history. To mingle with the history and make it look disillusioned is just plain wrong. It messes with your head. You like, oh, it's no way. I don't know.
And so the pharaoh would strengthen his divinity before his subjects. Anubis, the god with a jackal.
To stay ahead of the career curve, you need a degree with a destination. That's why University of Phoenix
Head is a deity of the Egyptian mythology connected to life after death. The god is one of the most ancient Egyptian deities, and therefore his role changed as the centuries went by. Anubis was already considered the main deity linked to death and the underworld's god, but this role was transferred to the god Osiris. The jackal god was also considered the god of embalming and mummifications. In funeral rites, it was common to see a priest wearing a jackal mask during the mummification process. The god was also considered as the protector of tombs and cemeteries, therefore protecting the bodies of those who went to the underworld. Anubis is the son of the goddess Nephthys, wife of Set. But his son was not born of the union with her husband, since Nephthys had been disguised as the goddess Isis, and so she mingled with Osiris. Set, coming to terms with that act of disloyalty, plotted against Osiris, killing him and scattering his body parts throughout Egypt. After Isis gathered all the parts, Anubis helped the goddess during the god's funeral ritual. So Anubis transformed the body of Osiris into the first mummy. Anubis became the deity that led the spirit of the dead to the underworld, where the dead would be judged by a court presided over by Anubis. The god placed the deceased's heart in Osiris's scale and the feather of truth on the other side. If the heart was heavier than the feather, it indicated that it was full of wickedness. He was then delivered to Amet, a demonic creature known as the heart devourer. If the feather was heavier than the light heart of the soul of the righteous and good, Anubis would take the person to Osiris, and the deceased stepped into life after death. In the period of Greek rule over Egypt, the god Anubis was associated with Hermes, which in Greek mythology is also...
You see how they reverted? You see, it has to be true. You're going from Egypt to connecting with Greek mythology. That makes no sense. Then you got Hercules, then you got the stars up in the sky that represent something. That is where they're from. It makes me sick when people lie to cover up, our true history. We're not here just human. Humans are not here, just humans. There are people here. This vast world and no aliens is here. You telling me all the spacecrafts, all the sightings? I've even seen some sightings. everything that I've ever saw was true, wasn't on any drugs, and yet you are telling me that there aren't no supernatural things going on. There are good supernatural things and there's bad supernatural things. That's how I look at it.
Deity that led souls.
We're in the natural. We are in the natural. We are planted to this world. We can't fly unless we get a machine to help us, and that's what I mean by the technology is going to start booming in the next 50 years, if not sooner. And I want to be there to recognize that. And I want to be inside those scientist buildings. I want to be able to give my insight on what we could do for the future. Yeah, I may not know much, but I know. I know. I don't know calculus. I don't know statistics. I don't know partial biology, but I know. I know what is needed. And I want to be out. That's where my heart lies. And the only way to get to that part is to get into politics, where I can meet people that are innovating this world one step at a time, like NVIDIA or like Elon Musk, Tesla. You know, I have plans, and I don't plan on getting back on disability or any of that once I move forward. But I don't want to just jump into it. Something bad happens, and then I'm back on, disability. So that's how I look at it.
To the underworld. This association gave rise to a deity called Hermanubis, which became popular during the period of Roman rule. Anubis is certainly one of the most popular divinities in Egyptian mythology, the god accountable to lead.
What if these jackal heads that they put on is a meaning of something bigger, like on their galaxy, in their world, as we call it, in their world, these divinative figures actually look half man, half jackal, and so they represent them because maybe on another planet, because where do cats come from? We say saber-toothed tigers. Where do dogs come from? We say wolves. But where do they come from? Where do they come from? Who is inventing all this animalism? Who invented us from root? We got so many people spread it out, different races, different religions. And it's like, where did everything come from? So when they wear these heads as man or whoever, they're representing something powerful. Gold and black. That's a powerful symbol with the disc. It's a disc. And I'm trying to figure out what that disc probably represents. I'm thinking a gold disc. It kind of sounds like Phantasm a little bit, but it's not. So what does a gold disc represent? I know it gives off energy. But whoever wears the disc, I don't know. It's a disc, just like a floppy disk. That's all I can think of. And the funny thing is that red dot or that orange dot, and sometimes they create it to be red, is all around us. That red dot that we see, or green dot that we see when we hit the record button, or we in our cars and we see it light up when it's off, red dot in the front, that's been here for years. So that's all I can think about. Let me just finish this out and get off of here.
Souls to the afterlife.
Hey, Queen. Instead of focusing on small clients or serving individual consumers,
Bastet is the cat goddess in Egyptian mythology, depicted as having a woman's body with a cat's head. The Egyptians devoted great honors to cats.
What if the Egyptians sat up there and created these animals in that time? And so they represented them because of what they know they created them for. They came from another planet. When more goddesses and gods started coming to the planet, they moved underground, I believe, for the resources of Earth. I'm just speaking in speculation. But why do they represent jackals, birds, cats? Why?
They were considered sacred animals. The felines had a meaningful role in the Egyptian world since, thanks to them, their food was safe from rodent infestations. Also, cats could scare treacherous, poisonous snakes. Bastet is a goddess associated.
Snakes mean demonic. So these beings that were created, they created different defense mechanisms. You see the sun? Do you see the disc over her head? And that's an ankh. And the all-seeing eye. But I think they created cats and jackals and stuff. But it goes way back to other things. But they possibly created different like stuff against the evil stuff like snakes. We know the serpent. A lot of Hollywood people, they use the snake as a deity, an evil deity. And that's why I watch those evil videos to learn about what they represent, so I know where I stand with what I represent as a human trying to do the right things. I don't want to go there. I want to be an angel. I don't want to be a demon. So what I do is I watch and see what they do, what moves they make. Sometimes it's hilarious to see because they dancing and they're talking junk, but I don't let that incorporate inside of me. And I did back in the day because I have nobody, but now I know where I stand.
With the sun, and because of that, the goddess followed Ra during the day in his solar boat, crossing through the skies. At night,
Solar boats, which means it was powered off of energy. She has a red disc. You see? I'm not just making this up.
the goddess turned into a cat, and, attentive, the goddess protected the world against the dreadful serpent Apophis. The goddess was worshipped throughout Egypt. Doing harm to any cat was a terrible sacrilege. The author of such a violent act could be punished with death. Cats were seen as family members, and according to some reports, whenever a house was set ablaze, the cats entered the burning house to help their residents escape the fire. Sometimes, these cats appeared to be dead in the flames, but they returned to life thanks to the goddess Bastet, emphasizing the popular saying of a 9-life cat. For being sacred animals, cats were mummified, and Egypt has cemeteries dedicated to these animal mummies. According to some versions, the goddess Bastet is linked to Sekhmet, the lion goddess. This goddess was violent and bloodthirsty, but was tamed, becoming a gentle and milk-drinking cat goddess.
See the red dot again?
In other versions, Bastet and Sekhmet were sisters and Ra's daughters. Even after the end of the worship of the Egyptian gods, cats, to this day, continue to look men up and down, hoping to have their deity acknowledged again.
And that is it. I don't know what to say. You know, you got all these things going on where I know how to look for the real from the fiction, because without fiction, somebody fiction can make nonfiction or fiction, but they are fiction. They're human. They're thinking in their brains of what they're going to do when they create fantasy or reality. Sometimes I was watching on Dateline, because that's what I watch. Some men or women, what they do is they take fantasy and mix it with reality. One guy killed a man and he liked to watch Dexter. I heard of Dexter, but I never watched Dexter. And he didn't stay near an ocean to dispose of the body. So what he did was he sat up there and he put it in the sewer down the street from his home. And he kept receipts. That's how he got caught. It was blood in his garage. He wanted to see what it was like to sacrifice an innocent person. And the point that I'm getting at is that he wrote a book and he had a production company. And so his production company, he wrote a book about fantasy and reality, what he actually did. The detectives learned from what he was fantasy. And that's all I'm trying to say, is we can mix fantasy with reality. And that's why I don't look at everything that I just looked at as fantasy. Those people, to me, it don't have to be to you, but to me, are real. Those people actually lived on this earth and they're calling it fiction. Somebody actually, let me see if I can find that article, how they depicted Osiris' body was found, and then they went back on it. They're covering it up because I'm not gonna. The reason why, my interpretation on it is that they're covering it up because they don't want people in a frenzy saying that it's real. So they took his body and they have it somewhere hidden where they aren't going to tell us no more. Because in 2022, I remember them saying they found Osiris' body, and now archaeologists said they did not dig up. So who did you dig up? Who did you dig up that time they took a picture of Osiris' body? It says scientists just found the tomb of Egyptian Osiris next to the river Nile. False. No discovery occurred. Online press recycled information about past archaeologists finding in Egypt, including the 2015 discovery of a tomb modeled after Osiris' tomb. How do we know these facts? How do we know these facts? So it didn't discovery occurred, but you know in 2015 that it's possible people are saying that you discover Osiris' tomb that's modeled just like Osiris' tomb. How do we know what Osiris' tomb is modeled like, for number one? So it's a cover up. In fact, this week's 2023 YouTube video that amassed more than 1.7 million views, because I was talking about this during this time. in 7 days set off a wave of online rumors that archaeologists in Egypt has excavated the real tomb of the Egyptian god. Scientists just found the tomb of Egyptian god Osiris next to the river Nile. The video title announced. Social media users reacted to the video with dread because Osiris, ancient Egyptian god of the underworld and deity responsible for judging souls and afterlives. That's why they're covering it up. Because they know that if it comes up, they're going to be like, well, what's going to happen next? Well, that's not good. One Instagram commented. Okay, I think we need to gently put it back and walk away, said one Twitter. You see? However, archaeologists didn't disturb the ancient burial grounds of Osiris or any other mythology. Why are they calling it mythological? If it's true, it's not a myth. It should say ancient. See, Harvard even is in this. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, man. I wasn't there, so I can't say whether it's the truth, man. But I know it's some type of cover up because people are scared. Do you? I tell you like this. Do you want hysteria going on where people are scared if the truth came out? If we knew what top secret stuff was going on, if we knew what stuff that was secret and not to talk about, classified, if we knew what was going on really, would that cause hysteria? Or are you at ease with knowing that everything is top secret? You ask yourself that. And I'm about to go get a Red Bull, and then we're going to edit some videos. Bye.